Hello everyone, this is the video lecture containing the explanations of the classroom classroom questions of the chapter Magnetism and Matter. Earlier I have shared the solutions in PDF format. Okay, so in case you seek a verbal explanation of any questions, you can consult this video, you can go through this video, okay. So the first question, what is the first question saying? You have a magnet and the magnetic moment is M. Okay, now you cut it into 4 equal parts and you first cut it along the axial line and then you cut it perpendicular, okay, to the axis. Or you can say you cut it along the equatorial line secondarily, right? So what is the magnetic moment for each part? So you have this magnet, say axial line, you cut it initially and then you cut it equatorially. Clear? So original magnetic moment is M. Now you cut it, you have 4 equal parts. So each part will have magnetic moment M by 4. In case you seek an explanation in case you want to go through the theory once, it's question number equation number 11 in the PDF. You may go through that. Okay. Next, number 2, you have two magnets and their pole strength. Each magnet has a pole strength M. All right. Each magnet has a pole strength M and magnetic length is L. So since pole strength and magnetic length is same, you can say that they have the same magnetic moment, that is M1 equal to M2 equal to ML. Yeah. Now the magnets are touching each other or you can say they are touching like north pole of one magnet is touching the south pole of the other magnet. So unlike poles are touching each other at an angle 60 degree. So the alignment is kind of like this. Say this is south, this is north, and this is north, this is south. Okay. So you see, unlike poles are touching each other at an angle 60 degree, you have to find out the equivalent magnetic moment. So in this situation, if you check equation number 5 in the theory, you'll find you have a relation M equivalent magnetic moment, M equal to square root of M1 square plus M2 square plus 2 M1 M2 cos 60 degree here. So I am putting the value directly. Now M1 and M2 are equal, so these two, adding these two will get you 2 M1 square, and multiplying these two like M1 into M2 will get you 2 M1 square, because M1 and M2 are equal, and cos 60 is half. Okay, I made a mistake here, right? So this should be negative. Cos 60 is half. Okay, now when unlike poles were touching each other, the relation had a negative sign. Okay. Unlike poles touching each other, here you have a negative sign. If it is like poles, then you have a positive sign here. Okay, you check that in the theory. Now, so half of cancels, so you have square root of M1 square, and you have M1, and M1 value is ML. So your answer is ML, option number A. Previously your answer was option number D, right, in the previous question. Now question number 3. You have a magnet lying parallel to the magnetic field, right? So whenever it is given like lying parallel to the magnetic field, then the value of theta is 0 degree. If it is given like lying anti-parallel to the magnetic field, then the value of theta will be 180 degree. Okay. So now you rotate this magnet against the magnetic field, of course, because you're doing additional work. Okay, you're doing additional work, W amount of work. Now you get it into a position where your angle is 60 degree. Okay, so what will be the amount of work done in this process? That will be MB cos theta 1, that is 0 degree, minus cos 60 degree, right? So MB cos 0 is 1, minus cos 60 is half, so you have half of MB, right? Now the question is, now because since you are doing external work, what you are doing is like you have this, say you have this magnetic field, right? And you had this you have this magnetic field, and you had this magnet initially this way. You can say like north was here, south was here. Then you rotate it by 60 degree. That means the final position is like this. So this angle is 60 degree. Okay. Now to hold this magnet here, because you are rotating it against the field, therefore you are doing W amount of work, right? To hold this magnet in this position, what is the amount of torque needed? So tau is equal to MB sine 60, right? So sine 60, what is the value? Square root of 3 by 2 is for sine 60. So square root of 3 by 2 MB. Okay, MB. Now half of mb is w, therefore you have square root of 3w, right? So your answer is square root of 3w. Okay, so it is option number A. Next question. So it is given in vector form. So value for, you see, value for magnetic moment is given 50 I cap ampere meter square, which is along the x-axis. Value for magnetic field is given 0.5 I cap plus 3 J cap Tesla. All right. So you have to find out the torque. Now we know the relation for torque is m vector vector form, right? So m vector cross b vector. Okay, we don't need this bracket. Now here value for m is 50 I cap, cross product 0.5 I cap plus 3 J cap. Yes. So I cap cross I cap is 0, you know it, and I cap cross J cap is K cap, right? So 50 multiplied by 3 will get you 150, and I cross J is K cap, so 150 K cap Newton meter is the answer, option number A. Refer equation number 25 if you are interested to see the theory for this question. Next, question number 5. So here you have okay, you have two magnets with magnetic moments m1 and m2. Now their centers are r meters apart. Okay, and when their centers are r meters apart, the force acting is 8 Newton. Okay, force acting between the two short bar magnet is 8 Newton. Now okay, they are acting, they are lying in the same line. Okay, so this will be the parallel condition. The other condition for finding magnetic force was perpendicular condition. Right after that, Coulomb's law, we had two relations. Okay, now if the separation is increased to 2r, what is the force between them now? Okay, so this relation was corrected later on. With the notion I made a mistake previously. The relation would be in when the magnetic moments are placed parallel to each other, then the force acting between them is given by mu naught by 4 pi 6 m1 m2, capital M1 M2 it should be. Previously I wrote small m1 m2, which was corrected later on. I updated that in the WhatsApp group. So that is equation number 14. You can cross check it once again. Now the relation for force is this, right? So in both the cases you see the magnets are same, so magnetic moment m1 and m2 will be constant. Yes, what is varying, like in the first case and the second case, is only distance between the two magnetic moments. So with distance your force will also vary. So initial case the force was given to be 8 Newton. So in the second case, when the distance is increased to twice r, you have to find out what is the force. So we can write down the relation as f inversely proportional r to the power 4, and since we are finding out f2, so f2 by f1 will be r1 by r2 whole to the power 4. So in the first case the distance is r, and in the second case the distance is twice r. So this gives you like 1 by 2 to the power 4 is 16. Yes. Therefore f2 is equal to 8 by 16. Yes, and that gives you 0.5 Newton. Your answer is option number D. Okay, so that is your question number 5. Question 6 next. Now work done in turning a magnet of magnetic moment m by angle 90 degree from the magnetic meridian. Now again magnetic meridian is along the magnetic field, so theta 1 is 0 here. Okay, so this work done is n times the corresponding work done to turn it through angle 60 degree. Okay, again this will be from 0 to 60. Okay, now here you have two equations. First part is saying like work done while turning it by 90 degree from magnetic meridian is n times the corresponding work done when you want to turn it by 60 degree from the same position, like from the magnetic meridian. Now you have to find out the value of n here. So the work done equation will be mb. In the first case it is like going from 0 degree to 90 degree. Yes, in the second case it is n times given, so n times of MB cos 0 degree minus cos 60 degree. Okay, now so MB cancels and cos 0 is 1 minus cos 90 is 0 equal to n and 1 minus half here on the right side. Okay, so 1 equal to n into half, so n value comes out to be 2. So your answer is option number B. Next question, this question doesn't have any number, anyway it doesn't matter. So your question is, you have a magnet of magnetic length 0.1 meter and the pole strength is given 10 to the power minus 4 ampere meter. Now you put this in a magnetic field of strength 30 Weber per meter square, which is also 30 Tesla, you can say. Now at an angle 30 degree. Okay. Yeah, the dipole, the magnet is lying at an angle 30 degree with the magnetic field. What is the couple acting on the dipole? Okay, so it should be in multiplication of 10 to the power minus 4. So this is a very simple question. So since magnetic length and pole strength are given, you can get magnetic dipole moment from here. So our torque relation, couple is torque, right? So our torque relation is, because torque happens, you see why we call torque as couple is because when you have this dipole, you have a force acting along the field here at this point and the other force is acting this way. These two forces are equal in magnitude, but they are different interaction. Now these two forces together constitute a couple. Okay, so tau equals to mb sine theta, mb sine theta. So m is like magnetic pole strength into dipole length. Okay, so I'll put the values directly, okay, because this twice-l often creates a confusion. Anyway, so magnetic pole strength is 0.1 and dipole length is 10 to the power minus 4. No, it's the other way around, right? Magnetic pole strength is 10 to the power minus 4 and dipole length is 0.1. Okay, into B, the magnetic field is 30 Tesla or 30 Weber per meter square into sine 30. Sine 30 value is half. So I'm putting half directly. So on calculation, this gets you 1.5 into 10 to the power minus 4. You can work out the calculation yourself. Option number B is the result. Next, question number 7. Find the angle through which a magnet is to be rotated from rest position when it is suspended in a magnetic field so that it experiences half of the maximum couple. Okay, so you have to find out, like, from rest position, obviously it is 0 degree, and you will take it, you will rotate it to an angle theta. Okay, during this process it will be equal to this work done. Okay, this work done will be equal to half of the maximum couple. So maximum couple, the relation for torque is mb sine theta, and it will be maximum when theta is 90, right? So it will be like half of maximum couple, you can say half of mb sine theta. So your work done is w equal to mb from the rest position is like cos 0 minus, you're taking it to an angle theta. Okay, and for that half of tau is like half of mb sine 90. I hope you understand the equation here. So cos 0, you see, find the angle through which you want to rotate a magnet from rest position. So you are rotating by angle theta. Initial position is 0, therefore you are rotating by angle theta. All right, so here mb cancels on either side. Cos 0 is 1 minus cos theta equal to sine 90 is 1, right? So on the right side you'll have half only. So cos theta equal to 1 minus half is half, and which is cos 60 degree. Therefore your value for theta is 60. Your 60 is your answer. Option number A. Next question. Now you have a bar magnet here. Okay, this bar magnet, you have two axial fields on either side. Like at point A you have one axial field, say this is at a distance 24 centimeter. Now we have considered that as R1. On the right side at point B, you have another axial field which is at a distance 48 centimeter from the center of the dipole, and we have considered this distance to be R2. Okay. Now you have to find out the ratio of the magnetic fields at these points. Okay, nothing else is given. Now for axial field, your relation B is mu naught by 4 pi twice m by r cube, right? So since it is the same magnet, this m will be constant. Now mu naught by 4 pi is already a constant. Therefore, your B relation depends inversely on r cube. Yes. So B1 by B2 is equal to R2 by R1 whole cube. Now what is R2 here? In the diagram you can see it is 48 and R1 is 24, and we have a cube here, right? So 2 cube it becomes, and 2 cube is 8. So the ratio comes out to be 8, which is your option number A. Next, question number 9. You have small magnets. They have magnetic moments this 10 ampere meter square, and they are placed end on end position 0.1 meter apart from their centers. The force acting between them is what? So again, if you are talking about end on end position, basically we are saying that they are lying parallel to each other. Okay, so in this case also we'll be using the previous relation, like F equal to mu naught by 4 pi 6 m1 m2 by r to the power 4. Okay, this is a direct question. You don't have much complications here. So F equal to mu naught by 4 pi 6 m1 m2 by r to the power 4. So what is the value for mu naught by 4 pi? It is 10 to the power minus 7, right? Into 6 m1 m2. Now m1 m2 is equal here. So this is like 10 square, and the distance between them is 0.1. So 0.1 to the power 4. Okay, so that you can write down 10 to the power minus 1 to the power 4, and on calculation you will get this as 0.6 Newton. Option number D is the answer. Okay, so you need to do the calculations yourself. Okay, I'm skipping this here because things are done elaborately in the PDF. To save time, I'm skipping the calculations. You must do the calculations by yourself. Next, question number 10. Which of the following statement is correct? So you see number A, statement number A, magnetic lines of force are closed curves. Yes, that is correct, while electric field lines are not. I guess option number A is the right answer only. The second option, electric field lines are not closed curves, right? That we have discussed already in the theory. Now electric field lines are closed curves, so that is a wrong point. So option number B is cancelled. Option number C, magnetic field lines represent direction while electric field lines do not. Again, this is wrong. And option number D, electric lines of force represent direction, magnetic field lines do not. So both are wrong. Like even electric field lines and magnetic field lines both represent the direction of the field, right? So the answer is, correct answer is option number A. So for 10 we have option number A. Next, number 11. Say coil in the shape of an equilateral triangle of side L, okay, is suspended between pole pieces of a permanent magnet such that B is fixed in the plane of the coil. Okay, so B is fixed in the plane of the coil. Now, if due to a current I in the triangle, a torque tau acts on it, then side I of the triangle is what? Okay, so say we consider a diagram for this. Okay, so say it is like I current is passing through, L is the length of the triangle. In that case, area of an equilateral triangle is square root of 3 by 4 L square, that you know, right? Now what is the torque acting? Now this is placed in between the poles of a permanent magnet. So say if this is north and if this is south pole, okay, this is in a magnetic field, right? Let me put the magnetic field in a different color. So this is in a magnetic field. Field lines are going from north to south. Now in this situation, you have to find out the torque acting. Now what is the relation for torque? Torque is mb sine theta, right? So the area vector, you see, now when this is a the coil is in the shape of an equilateral triangle. Now you see one thing, this triangle has area vector coming outside the page, isn't it? And that is, the present position is saying that that area vector is perpendicular, it is lying perpendicular to this magnetic field, right? So you can say that theta is 90, right? So if theta is 90 and the coil is carrying current I, then the magnetic moment in terms of current relation is I into area. NIA it was, where N was the number of turns, but we have only one turn here, nothing is mentioned about that. So we'll be writing down the relation for magnetic moment as IA only. So IA B sine 90. Yes. So what is the value for A? A value is square root of 3 by 4 L square B. This is tau, and we need to find out what is the length of the triangle or length of the coil. So L square will be 4 tau, right? 4 tau divided by square root of 3 IB, square root of 3 IB. Now L will be equal to 4 square root of 4 is 2, take that out, and rest of the things let them remain inside the bracket to the power half. So this is your answer, option number D. I hope this perpendicular thing 90 degree needs to be understood. Remaining things should not be difficult. Now since this the arrangement, you see, it is suspended between the pole pieces of a permanent magnet such that B is fixed in the plane of the coil. Okay. Now if due to a current I in the triangle, the torque acting is tau, then you have to find out the side L. This should be L, okay, side L of the triangle. Now if this is lying in between a magnet in this manner and B is fixed in the plane of the coil, B is passing in such a manner that it is passing through the plane of the coil is lying this in this way. So in that case, the area vector concept, area vector is like you have this plane, the plane of the copy or the display that you see right in front of you. The area vector is like perpendicular to this going outside the page, right? So in that case, I'm unable to show that here. Okay. So in that case, this area vector which is coming outside the page is perpendicular to this magnetic field, and therefore you have this angle as 90 degree. Next, question number 12. You have two wires, they are of same length and they are shaped into a square and a circle. Now they carry the same current I. Okay, so ratio of the magnetic moment is what? Now you have this in the shape of a square and circle, right? So let's draw a square and let's draw a circle over here. Now they are of same length, right? So if the length of this square is L, that means the perimeter is L, right? So in that case, each side will have length L by 4, and in that case only your total length L by 4, L by 4, L by 4, L by 4 and L by 4. This gives you L, that is the total length of the sides of the square, which is the perimeter. Now in this case, in the case of the circle, your perimeter relation is 2 pi r, and this 2 pi r is L, because this square and circle are of same length, are made up of wires which are of same length, right? So r is the radius of this circle. Yes, r is the radius of this circle. Okay, so r is the radius of this circle. So here radius will be equal to L by 2 pi. Yes. Now what is the area of this square? Let's give that A1, side square, right? Side square, that means you'll get L by 4 whole square is L square by 16. And what is the area of the circle? Area is pi r square, so pi r square, and you get this as pi into L by 2 pi whole square, where you get L square by 4 pi. Yes, L square by 4 pi. Now, magnetic moment relation, when a wire carries a current I, okay, because here they are carrying the same current, right? So magnetic moment relation is M equal to I into A. Since they are carrying the same current, I will be constant, so M is proportional to A. You are finding out the ratio of the magnetic moments, M1 by M2 equal to A1 by A2. A1 value is L square by 16 and A2 value is L square by 4 pi. So L square by 4 pi goes to the numerator. And your result comes out to be pi by 4. Option number C is the answer. Okay. Next question, question number 13. Now you have this hydrogen atom and an electron is revolving with frequency this. Okay. Now in an orbit of diameter this, the equivalent magnetic moment is what? Now you see, whenever an electron revolves, okay, it is constituting a current, and a moving electron or a moving charge will constitute a current, right? So in that case, your frequency is given in the question. Now we'll say that magnetic moment M is equal to, since you are finding out the equivalent magnetic moment. Now when an electron revolves like this, right? If an electron revolves, it constitutes a current, and therefore this will make up a dipole, right? If the electron is going in this direction, then your current is actually going in this direction. Now you see, if you apply the right hand thumb rule, you'll see the thumb is going inwards the page. If you curl your finger along the direction of the current, then the thumb is going inward. So above the page, you'll have the north pole, and behind the page, sorry, I'm making a mistake. Behind the page, you'll have the north pole, and above the page, you'll have the south pole, since your thumb is going inwards. So this constitutes a dipole, and therefore it will also have a magnetic dipole moment. Clear? So in this case, the relation will be I into A. So current is charge by time, the charge is electron here, so E by T you'll write down, and area, since diameter is given, we'll be writing down pi d square by 4. I hope all of you know this relation. Area relation is pi r square, and radius expressed in terms of diameter is like pi d by 2 whole square, which is pi d square by 4. Now E by T, like E 1 by T is new frequency, since frequency is given in the question, pi d square by 4. So now we have placed the things properly, the rest we have to put the values and do the calculation. So what is the value of E value is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. Let me do it a bit below. So E value is 1.6 10 to the power minus 19. Frequency value is 6.8 into 10 to the power 15. Pi is 3.14, and diameter is 1.06 angstrom, so 10 to the power minus 10 whole square, right? Pi d square divided by 4. So you'll perform the calculation. I'm not doing that. You will get the answer to be 9.5 into 10 to the power minus 24. So it is option number A. Okay, option number A. Okay, wait a minute. Not option number A. This is option number 9.5 into 10 to the power minus 24. Option number B you have to go with. Anyway, all are given as A. I made a mistake previously. So this should be option number B, C and D. So here it will be option number B. Next, number 14. Now you have a wire of length L. Okay, and this has a magnetic moment M. Now it is then bent into a semicircular arc. The new magnetic moment is what? Now you see, when you have a wire of magnetic moment capital M, right? So in the first case, say this is the wire, and here minus M plus M are the pole strengths, and length of the this magnet or the wire is say L. So here your magnetic moment will be ML. Yes. Now when you turn it, or when you bend it in the form of a semicircular arc, so again these are the pole strengths. Now the distance between the poles, because your magnetic moment relation is pole strength multiplied by distance between the poles. Okay, so here distance between the pole is like twice r. Okay, the distance between the poles is twice r. So your new magnetic moment is again pole strength into twice r. So what is the circumference of the semicircle? Circumference for a circle or perimeter for a circle is 2 pi r, right? So circumference of a semicircle is pi r, and this is equal to length L, because this length is same as the previous length, right? So here r becomes L by pi. Now we'll use this relation here, m into 2 L by pi. Okay, so 2 by pi you can put it separately, and ml. So ml is your m, right, from equation number 1, say. So 2 by pi of capital M is your new dipole moment. Okay, 2m by pi is your new dipole moment. It is option number B. Next, question number 15. The potential energy of a magnetic dipole in a uniform magnetic field B is equal to magnitude of the torque acting on it. The angle between the magnetic moment and the magnetic field is what? Now potential energy is equal to magnitude of the torque. So potential energy relation is what? Minus mb cos theta. And since this is equal to magnitude of torque, so this is equal to mb sin theta. Now here mb cancels, we can write down tan theta is equal to minus 1, and tan theta minus 1 is, look, tan 45 is 1, right? So had this been tan 45, we would have plus 1 here, which indicates first quadrant, but this is a second quadrant, and the value is minus 1. So here we'll have tan 135. What is the value for tan 135? You break this, if you break this, you see 1 into 90 plus 45. So 1 into 90, like 10 will become cot 90, second quadrant, cot is negative, and then you have 45. So cot 45 is minus 1, right? So your answer is, the value for theta is 135. Theta is 135 degree. This is option number A. Question number 16. You have a magnetic dipole. It is placed. Okay, this is in a stable equilibrium position. Okay, stable equilibrium position in a uniform magnetic field of intensity B. Now, if it is rotated to unstable equilibrium position, what is the work done? So theta 1 is, this is pretty obvious. Theta 1 is 0 and theta 2 is 180. So what is the work done in the process? W equal to mb cos 0 minus cos 180. So cos 0 is 1 and cos 180 is minus 1. So this is 2 times of mb. Answer. That is option number D. Next, 17. Here you see you have needles N1, N2, N3. You have 3 needles, N1, N2, N3. Okay, and they are made up of ferromagnetic, paramagnetic, and diamagnetic substances. Now, you bring a magnet close to them, what will happen? Now we very well know that diamagnetic will be repelled, right? Because whenever you place a diamagnetic substance in a magnetic field, then it is feebly repelled. We read this point previously. Paramagnetic weakly attracted and ferromagnetic very strongly attracted. So you can say that the magnet will attract N1 and N2 strongly but repel N3. Okay, because N3 is your diamagnetic. I guess this is the, is this the best option? Let's check the other options. What is B saying? Attract N1 strongly, N2 weakly, and repel N3 weakly. Okay. Okay, option number 3 is a better fit. Attract N1 strongly, but repel N2, but repel N2 and N3. but repel N2 and N3 weakly. N1 strongly, N2 weakly, repel N3 weakly. Attract N1 strongly, N2 weakly. Okay. Option number B is the right answer. Okay. I made a mistake this in the PDF. This will be 17 will be option number B. You have to make this correction. Okay, although sorry, option number B it is not C. I will mention this separately. Number 18 next. At a given place on the Earth's surface, the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field is given. Okay, 3 into 10 to the power minus 5 Tesla. The resultant magnetic field is given, and you have to find out the angle of dip. Now this is pretty direct question. We have horizontal magnetic field relation, which was written as H actually. BH also you can write down. B cos del. Now horizontal component value is given as 3 into 10 to the power minus 5, and resultant magnetic field is given as 6 into 10 to the power minus 5 cos del. So cos del is equal to half, and this is equal to cos 60. So del equal to 60. Del is 60. Option number D. Number 19. If a magnetic dipole of an atom of diamagnetic material, paramagnetic material and ferromagnetic material, they are denoted by mu d, mu p and mu f respectively, then which of the option is correct? You see, permeability it is. Is it permeability? No, it is magnetic dipole of an atom. If the magnetic dipole of an atom of diamagnetic material, paramagnetic material and ferromagnetic material are denoted by okay mu d, mu p and mu f. Okay, so which of the option is correct? What is it denoting? It is permeability, right? Mu tells you about permeability. So we know that permeability is less than 1. Okay, permeability is okay, let's check the theory once for this particular question. So permeability is less than 1 for diamagnetic, greater than 1 for these are the points, greater than 1 for paramagnetic and much greater than 1 for your ferromagnetic, right? So less than 1, what does it indicate? Basically it indicates that diamagnetic material, if you see the diagram, it doesn't allow magnetic field lines to pass through it. So you can say that the permeability will be 0 in this case. Okay, less than 1 is actually showing you that it is negative. Negative, it is showing you negative in the sense it is showing you that it doesn't allow magnetic field lines to pass through it. Whereas greater than 1 or much greater than 1 will show you that. So these values are not equal to 0. That means they allow. Okay, these allow field lines to pass through it, and this does not allow. Diamagnetic does not allow. Therefore, your answer will be option number D. Okay, answer will be option number D. Diamagnetic 0 and paramagnetic non-zero. Next, number 20. I'll include the explain. I'll just go through this 19 question. I'll have to cross verify this once again. If this should mean magnetic dipole moment or not. Anyway, I'll include that. If this needs correction, I'll mention that in the next lecture. Okay. So I'll stop this video here. and remaining questions we'll see in the next lecture. Thank you. So for these, like, you can consider the solutions up to number 18. 19 I'll clarify. I'll have to cross verify these ones, because this 0 having this value is 0 non-zero, and in the theory we have this as negative less than 1 and greater than 1. So this is creating a contraction. I'll come back to this again. Thank you.